Hi and welcome. We've just had an announcement yesterday from our government that they're extending the lockdown for yet another 3 weeks. So I just wanted to reiterate some of the points that we made last week on our Facebook Live. Just because there's been so many economic changes recently, and those changes have really happened overnight. And from the announcement yesterday, we will continue this for the next 3 weeks at least. And I just want to explain something here. The leaders of our country, or countries, the leaders of the world are managing 3 huge conditions at the moment. They're managing panic, they're managing a health pandemic, and they're managing an economic crisis. So therefore, to a certain degree, what the world leaders are doing at the moment is simply crisis management. And that's really is something to actually remember at the back of your mind. How do you manage a crisis? You actually manage panic. Therefore, it really begs the question at the moment as to who needs to take responsibility of managing your personal economy, and whether the government in this crisis management are managing panic or managing the future of your personal economy. And you've got to ask yourself if what the government are advising and doing at the moment is right for you and your family, your security and your future. So when we talk about your career, I want to talk about the economic perspective. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Leena. I am the founder of Citrus Connect. We're a sales recruitment agency, recruiting all over the UK, and being in the UK, serving our clients and candidates for the last 10 years. So as I said last week, you'll find yourself in any one of the following situations. You have a job, but you're working from home, and where this is not possible, you're actually going to your place of work, i.e. you're a key worker. If you're working from home, I suspect, just like with me and my team at the moment, that we're losing a little bit of motivation. We're missing the camaraderie in the office. We're missing the volume of work that comes in. And to a certain extent, we've got to try really, really hard to keep motivated. And if we're all honest, our productivity has gone down, and that's down to the fact that we've been in this kind of lockdown situation for a long time. If you are a key worker, then the opposite is true for you, where you are being overworked at the moment. You're completely stressed out. Yes, you're still in this, if you're in this category, you're still earning money, but you've really got to think about whether that's serving your heart, soul, purpose, which drives that job satisfaction. The second thing that could have happened to you is that you've been furloughed, or you've been laid off, find yourself unemployed, you were unemployed already, or you're self-employed and your income has completely stopped. So we've been working really hard at Citrus Connect to really try and gain some insights as to what's happening in the market at the moment, and what companies are doing overall, and how that is affecting the job market, if you like. So far from the companies that we've spoken to, have surveyed, etc., that the number one thing that's happening at the moment is that there is an organisational restructure, and that could be something that is temporary for now, but you've got to remember, if an organisational restructure is happening and it's working for the company, that could be something that is a permanent thing. The other thing that we've found is that organisations are going into complete closure, furloughing their staff and hoping that they can reopen quite soon. With everything that's unknown at the moment, if your organisation is in closure, you've really got to think about your personal economy and whether or not your organisation has the financial backing to survive unorganisational closure. Now, some companies have gone into administration, gone bust, and they've laid people off. Some companies have temporarily closed their business, hoping to reopen. But so much is unknown at the moment. I really want you to take responsibility of your personal economy and ask yourself, what if they didn't reopen? The other thing that's happening at the moment is that there has been a massive change in working patterns and processes, which could be temporary for now, but as I said, if it works temporarily and still makes the business profit, then this could end up being something that is long term. And from our survey, what we've found is that business are requiring support with sales and marketing. So sales always wins, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and a lot of companies are looking into virtual developments and how they can still sell their products and services from a virtual perspective. What this is telling us is that some companies, not all, some companies are looking to get lean, and to be honest, they've been forced into it. So there's no secret that what's happening in the economy at the moment is more than likely to lead to a recession, followed by a global depression. So now more than ever, businesses are looking at how they could prevent themselves from losing something that they have worked so hard for by improving efficiencies and therefore increasing profits. So you might ask yourself, well, what do you mean, Leena, by a lean business model? A lean business model means that a company will strive to eliminate waste in product and processes, i.e. increasing operational efficiency while satisfying the customer. And by satisfying the customer, the business will receive more positive profits because there has been an increase in sales. So if the company you work for can survive this financial economic crisis that we're going through at the moment, and they're looking to get lean, you need to ask yourself a bigger question, a bigger personal question, i.e. what can the worst case scenario be for me? So my intention with this information is not at all to scare you, but to prepare you. Having your job now, whether you've been furloughed or are still in it, doesn't mean that with a restructure or introduction of more robotics, that you will have a job when we hit recession and then followed by a global depression. We're in the robotics age as it is at the moment, and that's only going to increase, and that's just my opinion. Everything is run by robots, and if your job can be done by a robot, your job is going to be made redundant. So you really need to ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario for me? And just because you're being furloughed, from a legal perspective, and I checked this out with our legal team, just because you've been furloughed does not mean that you won't get laid off when things do go back to some kind of normal. So do bear that in mind as well. And are you believing this general rhetoric of when things go back to normal? Because if you believe that general rhetoric whilst the world leaders are trying to manage crisis and panic, that doesn't guarantee you a job either. So from what I can foresee, I believe that we will have a new normal where businesses will strive to achieve everything they set out to achieve at the beginning of the year. I have spoken to so many sales directors, owners of companies who are so determined still to achieve all the objectives they set out in December and January, myself included. I'm not going to let a crisis like this come in between me and the goals of Citrus Connect. So business owners are more than determined than ever, and that is a really, really good sign. It provides hope for anybody looking for jobs as well. So businesses going forward will look to be more profitable and will want to achieve everything they set themselves to achieve at the beginning of the year, but doing this by running a more lean operation. So I just want to ask you a question. Are you believing this normal rhetoric, or are you preparing yourself and your career for every eventuality? Are you essentially burying your head in the sand, or really stepping into that creative space where you connect with yourself, your values, your experience, where you connect with this higher version of value that you can add to any company? Because believe me, companies are looking for people like you. Companies are looking for people who are hardworking, that will follow direction, which will join them in their goal and their passion and their mission to achieve every goal they set themselves at the beginning of the year. So the best case scenario for yourself coming out of this crisis is that everything does go back to normal, and I truly hope that it does, and your job is secure and it's still there. However, the worst case scenario for you is that you return back to the job hunting scene, but this time you're going to be up against more competitors than ever before, because unemployment in this country, and I believe worldwide, will increase massively. So in 10 years of history of this industry, of the recruitment industry, I've seen all types of resumes. So where myself and Citrus Connect are really committed to sharing lots of tips with you about how to really create a resume that stands out from the crowd. And from our survey that we carried out, as I mentioned, our clients are looking for developments in augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and sales and marketing skills. So if you're at home at the moment and we've got another 3 weeks of this, I would encourage you to look at your resume, look at it. Does it shine out from the crowd? What value does that resume show? And do watch our next video, which will show you the 7 parts a resume must have. The other thing that I would encourage you to do whilst you're at home is upskill. Now, we've already found that with all the companies that we've spoken to, that they're looking for ways to develop virtually, and they're looking for new ways to market and sell their products. So look for courses online that are specialising in sales and marketing and virtual development. This is the time, guys, to really upskill. The only thing that will create value that you can add to a company is the skill set that you have. And it's skill set and value that any potential employer or hiring manager will be looking for. I'm not saying that everybody's going to be in this situation at all. What I am saying is, don't bury your head in the sand and prepare yourself for every eventuality as we hit a recession and then possibly a global depression. So not all is doom and gloom. From my message today, I want to give you hope that you can survive what is yet to come. Don't bury your head in the sand, but really rise up and prepare yourself for what you and your future and your family is completely waiting for. From this crisis comes so many opportunities, and there's going to be so many opportunities for you to take advantage of. But what you must do whilst you have this time on your hands is really prepare yourself for the future, for yourself and your family. So hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.